PrizePicks is quickly becoming one of the most popular DFS platforms in the United States because you can use PrizePicks in states where sports betting itself is not legal, such as California, such as Texas, such as Florida. Users from those states, individuals from those states, are turning to PrizePicks to fill that sports betting void in their life. PrizePicks is an incredible daily fantasy sports platform, and in this video, I'm going to give you a beginner level tutorial of how to use PrizePicks, talk to you about exactly what PrizePicks is, how it works, and then what are the optimal entries and everything when you are using PrizePicks. For me, my name is Matt Modi. I'm a content producer and betting analyst for oddsjam.com. In a previous life, my full-time job was as a data analyst, so I've just applied that kind of skills that I learned as a data analyst and applied it to a passion, which is sports betting. If you want to find me on social media, you can at my Twitter handle you see on the screen here, Jedi Modi, also in the description of the video as well. But let's chat about PrizePicks. So PrizePicks, you register for an account. It's really easy. You just need to go to prizepicks.com, click register if you are not already registered. You need to give some personal information in order to be registered, but everything is reputable on PrizePicks. In terms of adding and withdrawing money, you just want to make sure you link a bank account that you are comfortable with. Click the deposit button up here, and that is how you can put money into PrizePicks. All that stuff is quite simple. So the way PrizePicks works, and when you are using PrizePicks, all you're doing is you're combining multiple different player prop items into one singular ticket. You can range from 2 to 6 specific individual player props into one ticket. Obviously, the more plays you add, the higher the payout is, but also higher the risk. If you're familiar with the parlay in sports betting, it's essentially the same thing. So you add 2 different items, 2 or more items. If one of them loses, then your entire ticket loses, but the more you add, the higher the payout is. So the way PrizePicks works is there's a ton of different options we see here, right? From NBA down to League of Legends, to tennis, to NASCAR, to cricket, to Call of Duty, the NFL Combine you can use on PrizePicks, tons of different options, but it's actually very easy to use. So right now I'm on NBA and I'm on the point total market. So if I just click Fred VanVleet and Bradley Beal, I can choose them to go more or less over or under their designated point total, right? And it tells you the stat right here. Fred VanVleet, 18.5. Bradley Beal, 22.5. I think they're both going to go over that number, so I'm going to click more. And then we see right here, I'm placing a 2-leg power play that 3x's my money. So if I put in $10, I would get a payout of $30. Now, one thing to keep in mind here, and this is very, very important with PrizePicks, when they tell you your payout, that includes your initial risk. So in this case, I am risking $10 to get a total payout back of $30, but that includes my initial $10. So in terms of raw profit, you need to subtract 1 from the X. So I am risking $10 to get a raw profit of $20. So if this bet hits, I'll get $30 back in my account. You subtract the initial risk of $10 to profit $20, right? So a 2-leg entry, you double your money. It's as simple as that. That's really all you need to know. You double your money in terms of profit. And one thing that's cool about PrizePicks is that payout is the exact same regardless of what plays you add. So you know what? I don't like Fred VanVleet. I actually like James Harden instead. Guess what? The payout is the exact same. It doesn't matter what individual plays you add. Every single 2-leg entry is going to be double your money in terms of profit. And that's the same thing from every single entry. No matter what entries you add, the payouts are the exact same. Now, obviously, they increase exponentially the more plays you add. So if I add Jakob Poeltl, the payout goes from 3x to 5x, so 4 times profit. If I add a 4th one, the payout goes to 10 times profit. And that's kind of how it works. But the important thing to understand is that the payout is the exact same regardless of what individual plays you add. It doesn't matter if you're choosing Tobias Harris or DeAnthony Melton or Daniel Gafford or Kyrie Irving or whatever. The payout is always going to be the same. That is wildly different from sports betting. So that is why I am driving this point home so much, because it's a huge part of PrizePicks strategy is that the payouts don't change regardless of what plays you add. But because we know of what the payouts are going to be, we can actually back out the odds in terms of like actual sports betting lingo for each individual entry. And that's exactly what is done right here. So I mentioned a 2-leg entry doubles your money. That is the odds of plus 200. So if you think about it from like a sports betting terminology, every single 2-leg entry on PrizePicks has the implied odds of plus 200. For a 3-leg entry, you quadruple your money, so it has a implied odds of plus 400. For a 4-leg entry, you 9x your money, so the implied odds of plus 900. And 5 and 6 legs are a little bit unique that I'll explain further. The payout for a 5 or 6 leg entry kind of averages out to plus 2,000, but like I said, those are a little bit different. So I'll detail those in a little bit, but between 2 through 4 legs, that is exactly what the payout is. And because we know what the payout is for the entire ticket, we can also back out the individual odds per individual leg of each ticket, basically saying that every single 2-leg entry has the implied odds of a parlay of plus 200, which means that the individual legs themselves have the implied odds of minus 137. So basically, to kind of sum it up, every single 2-leg entry on PrizePicks, you have the implied odds per individual leg of minus 137. So if I go back to a 2-leg entry here, based on how the payouts work, Bradley Beal would be at minus 137 and James Harden would be at minus 137. And you're parlaying those together to get plus 200 odds. For a 3-leg one, the individual leg is at minus 141. And for a 4-leg one is at minus 128. And then 5 and 6 pick flexes are all the way down at minus 119 per individual leg. Another thing that's cool is because we know what the total payouts are, we also know what the break-even probability is. Basically saying if you hit this percentage of your entries with this number of legs, this is what you will need to hit in order to break even. Any number above this, you are profiting. So for a 2-leg entry on PrizePicks, you need to hit roughly 1/3 of your entries in order to break even. Any number above that, you are making money. So if you are trying to make money on PrizePicks specifically with 2-leg entries, you need to hit roughly over 1/3 in order to be profitable. For a 3-leg entry, you need to win over 20% of your entries. For 4 legs, you need to win over 10%. And for 5 and 6 pick ones, again, it's a little bit nebulous, but averaging out, you need to win roughly 5% or more in order to be profitable. So it kind of shows you when you're using PrizePicks, if you're placing a 4-leg entry, you could lose 85% of your entries on a 4-leg entry and still make money because you'd be winning 15%. So you kind of have to understand that because you're doing essentially what amounts to a parlay, your win percentage is going to be a little bit lower, but it can be lower in order for you to be profitable. So you kind of have to understand the variance nature of it and just be able to accept that you're going to lose the significantly higher majority of your entries, but you can still be profitable even with that. So that's how the payouts work. Now, PrizePicks has certain things called flex options. So if I add a third one, we see a power play and we see a flex play. So the way a flex play works for a 3-leg entry, essentially you can lose one of your 3 legs and still be profitable. So in this case, the payout's lower. So if you hit all 3, you only get a 2.25x payout as opposed to 5x, but you can lose one of these 3 entries. So one of Brad Beal, James Harden, and Jakob Poeltl, one of those player props could lose, and you would still get a payout of 1.25x. So basically you would get a profit of 0.25. So it's safer, but the payout is lower as well. In terms of strategy, you actually should never do a 3-pick flex. The odds are not in your favor in terms of value itself when you are doing a 3-pick entry. You should never do a flex. The math behind it is on the screen here, has also been detailed in a previous video. So I don't want to get too deep into the weeds here because I know that this is a beginner level video. So all you need to know for the purposes of this video is in terms of value itself, you should never be doing a 3-leg entry pretty much of any sort. You should never be doing a 3-leg flex, and you should also never be doing a 3-leg power play. As you can see from the implied odds of an individual leg, it has the worst one at minus 141. That's the worst number of 2, 4, and 5 and 6 pick options, right? 3 is the worst. So you really shouldn't do a 3-leg entry of any sort, flex or power play. If you're going to add a 4th one, the way that a flex and power play entry works. For a flex, if you win all 4, your payout goes from 10x down to 5x. So again, your payout's lower, but it's safer because if you play a flex and you lose one of your 4 legs, you will still get a payout of 1.5. So you could lose one of your 4 and you would still get a payout of 1.5. So the math behind that on a 4-pick one actually doesn't support doing a flex on PrizePicks either. Now, 4-pick entries are better than 3. They're also better than 2, but the math doesn't really support the flex option. If you assume a player prop win percentage of 60%, your power play expected value is roughly just below 30%. Your expected value on a flex goes all the way down to 16.64. So the value is actually on playing a power play. You obviously just need to accept that the risk is a little bit higher because you don't have the option of losing one leg. You need to win all 4. But in terms of profitability, as I mentioned, 5 and 6 pick flexes are actually the best. They're the riskiest because you're playing the most amount of legs, right? 5 or 6 picks, but the payout is the best and the value is the best on a 5 or 6 pick flex as well. So if I add a 5th option, it's only letting me do a flex play. And here's how the math works. So if you hit all 5, you get a payout of 10x. You 9x your money and you lose exactly 1 leg. So you win 4. You basically double your money in terms of payout. So you profit is exactly what you put in. So if you put in $10, you get a profit of $10. So you get a total payout of $20 if you put in $10. Now the 3-pick one, now if you lose 2 plays on a 5-pick flex and you get 3 right, you actually lose money. The 0.4x payout means you lose 0.6x. So if I risked $10 and I got 2 of them wrong, I got 3 of them right, I would get a payout of $4, which means I would lose $6 from that interaction, right? You're getting a payout of 4x. So I'm getting a payout of $4. I'm losing 6. But the math behind it actually heavily favors a 5-pick flex over 3 and 4 legs. If we're assuming the same win percentage of 60%, the net expected value on a 5-pick entry is like 43%. That's compared to 29% on a 4, compared to an 8% on a 3 with the same exact win percentage. It's all 60%. So the value favors a 5-pick flex over the other ones. Again, the risk is higher because you need to hit more, but the payout makes it worth it. So in terms of strategies, 5-pick flexes are great. Now you can add a 6th one. The way the payouts work, if you get all 6 correct, you 25x your money. So you get a profit of plus 2,400, which is insane. So $10 gets you a profit of $240. If you lose 1, so you get 5 correct, it's the same thing. If you lose 1 on a 5-pick flex, you get a payout of 2x your money. So whatever you put in, that is how much you will make in profit if you lose exactly 1 play. So $10 would get you $10 profit. In terms of losing 2 of the 6 legs, it's the same thing as losing 2 on a 5-pick one. You get a payout of 0.4x. So if you risked $10, you would get $4 back in your account and you would lose $6. That's how a 6-pick flex works. The math supports a 6-pick flex as well, an EV percent of 66%, assuming the same win percentage, which is the highest of all of them. It's higher than 5, it's higher than 4, 3, and 2. The EV on a 6-pick flex is the highest. Obviously, the risk is the highest as well. And that's pretty much how PrizePicks works. Hopefully, this video was helpful. We've learned that the value supports 5 and 6 pick flexes over any other option. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. But that's all I got. So thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on social media, and that's it.